Hey man, welcome to the channel. Today is going to be a different day. We're not going to be playing video games. We're not going to be doing it to people. We're not going to be dropping bodies. We're not going to be making fun of idiots online. They're going to be talking about psychedelic mushrooms and how they showed me I was a bad lover. We're not going to be talking about shrooms in the way of it being a fun party experience or a fun drug experience, even though it can be. I don't use shrooms that way. I view shrooms as mental medicine, and that's how I dose. So to first start off, before we even get into the shroom aspect, we have to start off with the me aspect. What inside of me I felt like made me a bad lover, and to me, it was repressed emotions. I never really grew up knowing how to express my emotions. I love both my parents a bit. They've done so much for me, but growing up, how we grew up, I really didn't have that sort of space where expressing my emotions felt safe. It felt right. It never truly felt like that, and especially with my mother, the first female you're ever really going to love. But my mother, it never truly felt like I had that super safe space to communicate emotions. Communicating was not just a easy thing all the time. It was a very explosive thing, sometimes toxic thing. But don't think my mother's a bad mother. She did what she could to the best of her ability with what she had. She's an absolute great mother, and we have a great relationship nowadays. But as a child, things are very misunderstood in the mind of a child. And going through what we went through, I grew up just knowing that it's hard to share these emotions. And since it was happening with my mother so often, that's how I viewed sharing emotions with women. So fast forward to all of this, finally get to high school, and I guess you could say this is my first real girlfriend. Had some weird experiences, as most guys have with women in the early middle school days, but I guess I had my first real girlfriend in high school, and we're just, going through, high school relationship shit. And we're both kids. We don't really understand dynamics of relationships that well. We're doing something so early that, I don't believe kids need to be doing, trying to love each other the way we were, but we fucking tried. And when you're trying that and both of you don't know what the fuck you're doing, it's bound to be some fuck ups, and on both ends. But on her ends, when she would fuck up, I couldn't let it go. Parts of me just could not let it go. And then parts of me just wouldn't say anything either, because addressing problems in my household with my own mother would sometimes leave the problem. So I wouldn't address them with her until I was at a boiling point. And one of the first things that shrooms taught me when I, started doing these bigger doses, I really don't do anything under 3.5 nowadays. But when I started doing these bigger doses and I really started thinking about my past relationship with this girl, I realized I did not give her any real grace. Fuck ups happen. Sometimes the same fuck up's gonna happen over and over again with a girl. Doesn't mean she doesn't give a fuck about you. Of course, there will be situations where you're gonna run into women who just don't give a fuck, who are just shitty, who are not good people at all, just pure fucking dirt. And that's different than a girl who's trying and who doesn't understand. How can a girl really understand what she's doing wrong when you're not even gonna communicate it with her? And I never really did communicate with her because I would repress those emotions, because that's what I grew up doing. I grew up repressing emotions. I did not grow up expressing them. I never felt okay to really express anything other than I'm happy or trying to make people laugh. Anything else I always viewed as a weakness. So now that I have a girlfriend, and there will be no relationship with a woman that will ever work unless you are going to be an emotionally available man for her. Now that I have to be emotionally available and I've never had to do this in life, it's not coming out well. And I'm the type of nigga to where if you ask me a question over and over again, what's wrong over and over again, I'm finna get fucking mad at that. It was shit like that pissing me off. And during these trips and where I can really just sit down, especially during the peak of a shroom trip, when you get to sit down, you can barely fucking speak English, but all you can do is think and feel. It really showed me that I did not have enough grace. I should not have been snapping over questions about what's wrong. Nowadays, if I get with a girl, I'm gonna tell you, hey, don't ask me all of those questions. I'm gonna come to you when I'm ready to come to you. And I will come to them. If I trust a girl enough with my emotions, I will come to them. If she gives me that space that I can feel like I can speak, I'll speak and I'll let you know. But at that point in time, I was not a developed guy in the brain. My mental was not developed enough for something that requires so much emotional maintenance like a real relationship. I did not have that type of skill, man. And because of that, start to take it out on them, because it's way easier dealing with fucked up emotions is hard, but it's way easier to take out the frustration from not being able to deal with those emotions onto your partner. You're both of you. It's a chance you guys are gonna bond over that. You guys are gonna bond over you being fucked up, over her being fucked up, over y'all fighting over the same shit over and over again. You guys are gonna bond about that shit. That will feel way better and way more fulfilling than actually going through it, figuring out what's wrong. Now, of course, that's not the right mindset to have. That's far from the right mindset to have. Actually, you need to be able to speak with your woman. You need to be able to communicate what the fuck's wrong, how she can help, what is she doing that's not helping in a healthy, respectful manner. And I just did not have those skills. When I look back at my childhood, especially, during these trips, I always tell my friends, man, I think one of the best things we can do with this shit is really heal that inner boy. That inner boy that was fucked up, that really didn't feel like he had the right type of love, the right type of space, the right type of emotions. He felt like everything he was feeling was wrong. Why am I feeling like this? Am I a fucking little girl? Why am I feeling like a little bitch? To heal that little boy that felt like that. Probably one of the most important things I feel like you can do with shrooms. Because that little boy in me always wanted to be able to just share my emotions. What's fucking wrong? What's going through my head? But it never got to that point. At least then. I never got to that point then. But the more and more I tripped and I thought about this, and not only with her, but with other women, sometimes you can see these patterns developing in the girls you're dealing with. Little example is some girl I was fucking with, and it was some casual shit. She likes drinking. Something happened to her that was pretty serious, and she's drinking a fucking lot. And if you do a drug a lot, you will experience withdrawal. Withdrawal for everything else is a little bit different. If you're around stoners and shit, not the full cool stoners, but the fucking loser ones. Damn, nigga, I can't even get the day started without no weed. Nigga, that's because you're a fiend, nigga. You're a fucking aggravated, mean, grumpy bastard without weed because you're a fucking fiend. Your brain needs that shit. Get off of it, man. But that's basically what's happening with her. She's drinking so much and she's trying to cope instead of just talk about it. And now she grumpy as hell and bitchy around me. Now, as a grown man, I am not staying. I'm not staying with that. I don't give a fuck. We don't have that type of history. You ain't bringing none of my seed into this world and I ain't married you. I'm not putting up with no drunk bullshit. But it's good to see that happen in other people. Not good to see it happen in other people in the way of, oh, I love seeing people suffer, but good to see that I can identify those type of patterns now, that I'm growing past that type of shit, and that I know that it's not healthy. What are you going to do when a person doesn't even want to fix themselves? They want to just cope using drugs or whatever else they want to fucking use just to repress their emotions instead of speak to you. Speak to you like an adult. You can't do shit but go, man. Throw up a little do symbol and get the fuck on. But definitely, just doing these shrooms have definitely showed me that I have bad characteristics that led to me being a bad lover. It's not because I'm a bad person. It's because I never dealt with shit. And when I'm doing these shrooms, and this is pretty much a widely understood thing in the shroom community, is that you're more emotional. There's more empathy in you that you can feel. There's more communication you can get off. Of course, during peak, if you're doing shit like a 3-5 and up, you're not really going to be speaking the best English. It's going to be a bunch of slurred words. You're probably going to stumble a few times. But in the sense of communicating your emotions, it's way easier, especially when you're alone. You have all this time to think. Just to find a calm, quiet place, sit down and really process these emotions and think really has brought me so much clarity as I've been growing into my manhood. I'm 21 now, and I definitely feel way more emotionally intelligent than I ever have felt, ever in life, really. And of course, I'm not gonna put that all on shrooms. You still have to do the work yourself to improve your person. But definitely taking shrooms has opened my mind and my eyes to so many different perspectives when it comes to my life experiences and just experiences in general. My eyes just have opened so much. Being out in nature, doing these big ass doses, high as hell, playing lucky songs, just thinking, man. It's good to do that sometimes, man. It's good to think. definitely feel like I'm a way better man now, especially when it comes to treating women. I view women in a whole different light now, and you know, I could communicate these feelings better. And one of the things I definitely have learned as me and my mother have grown closer is that that's something I always wanted. I always wanted to be very close and be able to tell my mom what the fuck is wrong with me. So yeah, man. Don't think psychedelic mushrooms are just gonna fucking save you. They're not, but they could be a good step, a good way of opening your mind. Definitely instead of taking antidepressants and medicine for mental disorders like how I once used to. You definitely will get a lot more progress done. Just sitting down, having you a little shroom journal, putting shit in there, thinking about what you need to think about. You know what happened in your life. Write that shit down in a notebook. Take your fucking shrooms and think about it, man. Confront those demons, beat those demons, and be a better person. That's it for Ja. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video reaches the right people. I have a few topics about psychedelic shrooms I definitely want to talk about. Definitely want to, spread the hippie knowledge that I have gained through, I think about a year and a half, maybe 2 years of fucking doing them. And probably for sure a year of just doing them strictly, not strictly for, mental healing, but for the most part, mental healing, some big group bonding, man. Shout out my guys, man. Definitely one of my friends, man. Me and him had a great conversation on the other side, I guess we're gonna fucking call it. But yeah, man, if you guys have any questions or you guys want me to talk about any topics with shrooms, anything, just leave it down in the comments. I will get to that. Promise. That's it for the job, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like the fucking video. That's that.
She like what I like. She like what I like. She like what I like. Quasi her highlight. On top of the skyline, ice in my wrist, but the time still gon' fly by. I made her crib, but that bitch got no Wi-Fi. She fuck with Quasi, man, I'm such a fly guy. Stay in your lane, might get hit from the blind side. Bad bitch, she with me, and she like what I like. Bad bitch, she with me, and she like how I move, brody.